If you've ever had a client say they're looking for a used car, but they don't quite know what they want, this video is for you. It's always difficult to nail down a client who has lofty goals or is really indecisive on a used vehicle. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make proper used vehicle selection so that you can sell more cars, make more money, and the biggest tool in your arsenal to bump people's budgets. I call this the used car triangle. I made this up a few years ago because I was working in an auto mall and I got sick of people coming in with unrealistic expectations on what they could get. So this was the way that I would narrow down exactly what they were looking for to make them realize the reason they haven't found a car yet is because what they're looking for doesn't exist. So bring the client in, sit them down, get a blank piece of paper, flip the paper over and say, Mr. Client, I call this the used car triangle. There's three things that make up a vehicle. There's the kilometers, the year, and the price. So, Mr. Customer, what kind of vehicle would you like? They say SUV, car, truck, whatever that is, you put it in. The value of the used car triangle is you're helping the client visualize what it is they're actually looking for. I guarantee you no one has done this yet. They haven't done this yet, and they're totally confused. They've come to you because they need help, and that's what you're going to do. When you ask the client, Mr. Customer, how many kilometers, or if you're in the States, how many miles is too many? And they say 40. Each and every single one of these points of the triangle, we're going to go for a little bump by saying, Mr. Customer, okay, but the perfect car, if it had 50,000 kilometers, it's not a big deal, right? No, okay, so less than 50,000 kilometers. Okay, and how old would you consider it? Well, let's say they look for 2019. Okay, Mr. Customer, same thing. Again, perfect 2018. We're not going to say no, right? No, that's fine. Okay, we've already bumped them 10K and a whole year. Okay, and how much are you thinking for the price? Oh, 50,000. Okay, $50,000. Okay, and that's plus tax, right? Or you can say before tax, right? Make sure no one is thinking this is an all-in number. You're going to follow up the third one here by asking them, Mr. Customer, now are you going to be paying that in cash, or are you like me and everybody I know, you're going to make payments? Most people are going to tell you payments. Then it's important you adjust to payment budget. Oh, so Mr. Customer, what are you hoping to be at for monthly payments? They will tell you, I don't know, in this case, let's say it's $800. We're going to come back to this. I'm going to teach you how to bump your client like $20,000 using about 13 seconds of script. Once you have all three of these things settled, okay, if they look realistic, don't change anything. I know that I can find somebody a 2018 SUV with less than 50,000 kilometers for $50,000. However, let's say somebody says, well, I want a 2018 with 50,000 K and I want it to be 10 grand. Ridiculous. Obviously, that doesn't exist. I'm using an extreme example. What you'll do is tell the client, Mr. Customer, I need you to pick two. You can have a car with low mileage and a really good year, but the price is going to be higher. You could have a really good price and a really good year, but the kilometers are going to be higher. You can only have two of these things. Mr. Customer, what are the two most important things for you? And that's where you're really going to start pushing them. You're getting the little baby bumps each time, but now you're making them make their first actual decision. And if somebody says, well, no, it has to be, well, let's say, for example, they said it was a 2023. If they said, well, it has to be a 2023 or newer, you might ask why. Well, let's say they just really want warranty, or there's a feature that it absolutely has to have. It's really important that you're gathering that information as you're pushing them, because remember, what they are looking for so far does not exist. It's your job to narrow that down. Let's say, for example, the client picks, it's really important that his budget is met and the year is met. Now you'll ask them, okay, so how flexible are you on the kilometers? And if they say, look, mileage isn't really, it doesn't matter too much as long as it's less than 100,000 K. Okay, again, you visualize it, less than 100,000. We figured out the most important thing to this guy is he wants to make sure it's under warranty. Then you're going to go through what they want, what they need, and what they don't like. So, Mr. Customer, and it's very important, what's the most important thing to you on this car? And that's where normally they'll bring up, a certain feature. Let's say like it's an SUV, it needs to have all-wheel drive. Okay. And if you'll keep asking them, okay, what else do you like? Oh, you like leather. Okay. Anything else it has to have? And most people will kind of trail off here. Remember, these are the clients who are almost like a little indecisive. They don't really know exactly what they want. That's why we're visualizing it. Okay? So that's when you're going to start asking things they don't want. If you ask the customer what brands they will take, they will give you 2 to 3 brands every time without hesitation. If you ask Mr. Customer, what brands won't you take? They might say, well, I don't like Korean cars. And you go, okay, so no Kia, no Hyundai? And they go, oh, no, I'll take a Hyundai. Oh, okay, so just no Kia. All right, so no Kia. What other brands won't you take? Well, I don't like Chrysler. Okay, so no Chrysler, no Jeep. No, I'd take a Jeep. Okay, so just no Dodge then? Okay, no Dodge. Okay. Any other brands you won't take? And maybe again the same thing. If you ask which brands will you take, they will give you 2 to 3. If you ask which brands won't they take, guess what? They give you 2 to 3, which means you now have 15 other brands to choose from. It makes your life a lot easier. You're going to do the same thing now with colors. Okay, Mr. Customer, what colors won't you take? And most people will say, well, I don't like red. Okay, so no red. Okay. And no blue. Okay, no blue. Okay. And then you can just kind of cut them off there and go, okay, so you're looking for shades, right? Silver, white, black, gray. Everyone goes, yeah, well, okay, so we want shades. Wonderful. If someone says to you, I don't care about color, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I get the car I want. I use the, oddly enough, I'm wearing this color. I always say the same color. Okay, so if the car's pink, you're going to take it? And they go, no. Okay, yellow car, will you take it? And they go, no. Okay, so what other colors won't you take? And then they will start opening up. This is where you'll really, remember, they might even be slightly confrontational when you start talking about like bumping them a little bit. This, when you're getting to the colors and starting to be jovial with them, that's when they're going to start to open up a bit more and realizing you're trying to help. Down at the bottom, you're going to ask the client, okay, we know what your needs are. We know what colors you won't take, what brands you won't take. What do you want? What are some things that you actually want that you just didn't mention on here? And that's when people might mention, upgraded sound system, panoramic sunroof, or that little like foot thing for the rear hatch. Now, we have an extremely clear vision. And if you know your used inventory, you'll know exactly what, 2 or 3 vehicles are going to fit. From here, you're going to take this sheet over to your sales manager, come up with 2 or 3 stock numbers that you think are the best suited to this customer and for the dealership, because maybe there's going to be more gross in one than the other. And when you show the client these options, you're going to go from the least desirable to the most desirable. Good things happen in threes. The triangle's in threes. They're only going to give you 3 brands they don't like. All good things happen in threes. And what will happen psychologically is the client's going to go, no, I don't like that one, get a little discouraged. Well, I don't like that one either, a little discouraged. And then boom, you hit them with the third one. And all of a sudden they go, oh my God, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This guy listened. He found what I want. He showed me 2 other options. He didn't just show me one car, and all of a sudden they are yours. They trust you, and you can now proceed with this client who has been looking potentially for weeks or months, never found anything, but because you were able to narrow down exactly what they were looking for, now they trust you, and you can sell them a car that day. I mentioned earlier that I was going to include a bonus section on how to bump your client by roughly $20,000. Here's how you do it. This is assuming the guy wants to make payments. He says, I'm looking for a car, it's 40 grand. I want to pay $600 a month. Immediately after that, you say up to, 2 words, that's it, up to. And he says 650. Okay, perfect. So let's say you'd like it to be less than 650 a month. And okay, so that's like what, 325 biweekly? Is that fair? Are you good with that? He goes, yeah, I can do 325 biweekly. Awesome. 325 bi-weekly. And how much money down are you going to put? They'll say, well, 2 grand. Okay, if you had to stretch, maybe 5. Okay, so we're looking 5K down, and you want to be at 325 biweekly, right? Yeah. All we said was up to. He said 650. So it's a $50 bump over 84 months right away. Then I said, so that's like, don't say it is, make sure you say that's like, because with biweekly payments, it isn't. It is like 325. So that's like this payment. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words so far. And he says, yes, 325 works for me. And you say, with how much down? And he gives you a smaller answer and you say, if you had to, put a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 words. 16 words. Let's see the math on this and see how it actually converts from his $40,000 budget at $600 a month to $325 biweekly with $5,000 down. So assuming I take the $325 and we're going to break that over 84 months, and then I'm going to add his $5,000 down, his new budget, including tax and interest, of course, is $64,150. Now, in this case, was it a $20,000 bump? No, because the payments include tax and interest. But most of the time, when people are looking at this number and their initial budget of $600 a month, they aren't including tax and interest either. They're just taking 600, breaking it into the 40,000, and somehow they come out with that number. But in this case, now I know exactly what car he wants, what vehicles will fit, what won't he take. And now all of a sudden, I've got a budget of $64,150 instead of $40,000. Shit, I'll take that every day of the week.